Good evening. Welcome to the second chapter of the first unit, electric potential and capacitance. Electric potential and capacitance. We have studied in first chapter about all vector concepts except electric charge. We have studied about electric force, which is a vector quantity. Electric field is also a vector quantity. In this chapter, we are going to deal with totally scalar quantities. Electric potential is a scalar quantity, and of course, capacitance is also going to be a scalar quantity. You have some introduction about electric potential in class 10th. Also, you have studied something about gravitational potential in class 11th in the chapter gravitation. Electric potential in class 10th, you have defined it as work done per unit charge. So, mathematical expression in 12th class also will remain same. But we'll have some broader understanding about electric potential than compared to the what you understood in class 10th. So, as this chapter is about electrostatics, that we have an electric charge Q at rest, which we also call it as a source charge. And we said that in the first chapter, around this charge there is some space, three-dimensionally, which we name it as electric field. So this electric field extends up to a large distance. So literally we say it is up to infinity. So in such a large extended electric field, we have a very small charge, say unit positive charge Q, somewhere at infinity. So again I am repeating the meaning of infinity, that is, it is not actually an infinite value compared to the sizes of the charges. The distances which are very large are generally known as infinite distances, and the points located at faraway distances are called infinite points. So we are placing a unit positive charge Q at an infinite distance from this one. To move it towards this plus Q, right, until it enters into the electric field of this source charge, there is no need to do work. It starts moving with uniform velocity for a small momentum if you give it to it. Now, let us say it is entering into the electric field of this one at this point. That means we imagine that electric field from this point and onwards, electric field vanishes. Here itself there is electric field. So this point P is now in the electric field of source charge plus Q. In order to move this Q towards this capital Q through a small distance, you have to do work against the electrostatic repulsion. Q is a positive charge. This Q is also a positive charge, which is brought over here. In order to move it forward through a small distance, work must be done by some external agent in order to encounter the repulsion force given by capital Q on small q. So this work done to bring a unit positive charge from infinity, let us say it is at infinity, the amount of work done to bring a unit positive charge from infinity to a point near the source charge in its electric field is known as electric potential. So electric potential is defined in class 12th like this. It is the amount of work done to bring a unit positive charge from infinity to a point near a source charge into its electric field. So now point P is lying in the electric field of capital Q. So Q, small q is brought from infinity to this point. So we have done some work. So therefore, electric potential is defined as work done per unit charge. The same definition we have given in class 10th, work done per unit charge. Okay, right. So V equals to work done is W, unit charge is nothing but what? Q. So V equals W by Q, SI unit. W is measured in joule. Whatever be the work, whether it is in the electric field, whether it is gravitational field, whether it is heat and thermodynamics or any branch of science, the energy and work done will be measured always in SI system in joules divided by Coulomb, C-O-U-L-O-M, Coulomb. Now we are using two scientists' names to define or to demark the SI unit of the single physical quantity. Instead of these two, we use a single unit which is called what? Volt, in the name of scientist some John Volt or something. Okay, so this will be denoted by capital V. So remember, potential, the physical quantity is denoted by V. Its SI unit volt also is denoted by V, but this is capital V and this is small v. Capital V we are using because this unit is named after the scientist. You have studied in class 11, all the units named after a scientist should be denoted with capital letters as their symbols, right? And if you do 1 joule of work, to bring 1 coulomb of charge, from infinity to a point near a source charge, then the potential at that point is said to be 1 volt. So in examination you will be asked a question indirectly like this: define the SI unit of electric potential. You will not be directly asked to define 1 volt. No, define the SI unit of electric potential. So volt is defined as if 1 joule of work is done, to bring 1 coulomb of charge, from infinity to a point near a source charge. This is the point P, near a source charge, is known as potential at that point. The potential, okay, I repeat, if 1 joule of work is done to bring a 1 coulomb of charge from infinity to a point near a source charge, then the potential available at that point is known as 1 volt. I repeat, if you do 1 joule of work to bring 1 coulomb of charge from infinity to a point near a source charge, then the electric potential at that point is said to be 1 volt. So therefore 1 volt is nothing but 1 joule per 1 coulomb. So this potential will be of different orders. Generally in domestic AC we have 220, 230, 240, 250 volts, and sometimes we use transformers, okay, to step up and step down. While walking in the street you will see that there is a 22 by 11 kV, 33 by 11 kV, like this, 22 by 11 kV, 33 by 11 kV, like this. This kV stands for kilovolt. That means the transformer is dealing with thousands of volts. So higher values of potentials will be measured in kilovolt and also million volts. Okay, in generating stations millions of volts of potential will be produced. And there are very small values of potential also, millivolt, microvolt, that the potential difference, the potentials that is created in our body through blood vessels and all will be order of very small voltages, that is millivolt and microvolt. You know that 1 millivolt is nothing but 10 power minus 3 volt, and 1 microvolt is nothing but 10 power minus 6 volt. Okay, And the order of voltage what we are using in the labs are hardly 12 to 15 volt, maximum 12 volt, 3 volt, 4, 6 volt, 9 volt, 12 volt, like that. So these voltages are not fatal. When it reaches hundreds, then the electric potential will become fatal, right? So these are the different units of electric potential. Fine. Now, potential is not so significant when you are studying the electrostatics. There is another word that is called what? Potential difference, electric potential difference. That we will see how it is defined. So if you bring a charge from infinity to a point near a source charge, then the potential at that point is said to be 1 volt, right? Now, the work done to bring a unit charge from infinity to a point is known as potential. Suppose I call this as point 1 and I call this as point 2, and I am moving the same charge q from point 1 to point 2 against the electrostatic repulsion. Then potential available at this point is V1 and potential available at this point is V2. Then potential difference is defined as V2 minus V1. It was initially at 1 and finally it is at 2. Therefore, all times it will be taken as final minus initial. So V2 minus V1 equals to W by Q. So potential difference is defined as the amount of work done to move a unit charge from one point to another point in the electric field of a source charge. I repeat, electric potential difference. So this is potential difference. Also I will write simply potential difference. Potential difference between 2 points. So when you speak about a difference, you have to speak between 2 points, right? So potential difference between 2 points is defined as the amount of work done to move a unit charge from one point to another point in the electric field of the source charge. So V2 minus V1 equals to W by Q. So as W by Q is joule per coulomb, this also will have the same unit as potential. So potential difference also is measured in volts. Okay, right. Now, if this point moves to infinity, then at infinity the potential will be what? 0, because there is no need to do any work for anybody to move it from one point to other point when it is at infinity. So remember, potential at infinity is always taken to be 0. This point keep in mind. V at infinity is 0. And one more point you keep in mind, V of earth, potential of earth is also taken to be 0, because it has got equal amount of positive charge and equal amount of negative charge. It is an ideal sink, it is an ideal source. It supplies any amount of charge, it absorbs any amount of charge without any change in its potential value. So the potential of earth is always 0, because the net charge on the surface of earth is always 0. So potential at infinity is 0, because as the point moves to infinity, there is no electric field. Electric field vanishes at infinity. So when you move that charge from one point to other point in the infinity, no need to do work. Then work done is 0 means the potential is also will be 0. Because W becomes 0, so 0 by anything will become 0. And potential of earth is taken 0 because it has got equal amount of positive charge and negative charge. Net charge will be what? 0. Therefore its potential will be 0. Right. So we have defined electric potential, we have defined electric potential difference. Electric potential is defined as the amount of work done to bring a unit charge from infinity to a point near a source charge. Right. Potential difference is defined as the amount of work done to move a unit charge from one point to another point in the electric field of the source charge. Right. So electric potential difference is more significant than the electric potential. Remember, a charge can move only when there exists a potential difference between 2 points. Charge flows always from high potential to low potential. Like heat flows from high temperature to low temperature, right? So air blows from high pressure to low pressure. Okay, so in order to move a charge from one point to other point, these 2 points should be maintained at 2 different potentials. By chance, if both the points are maintained at the same potential, then charge will not move from one point to other point. That means the electric current will become 0. That we will see in the third chapter and the second unit. Right? So potential and potential difference is over. Now we try to calculate how much potential a point charge can produce at a given point. Now, potential means electric potential only. Repeatedly we don't write electric because we are dealing with the chapter itself is electrostatics. So potential due to a point charge. Right. So now let me consider a point source charge Q. So this is source charge which can produce electric field, which can have electric force on any other test charge. Now the third thing is it also can produce electric potential at a given point. Fine? Right. Now I have a unit positive charge small q where at infinity. At infinity. Now here there is its electric field. Now I am trying to move it from infinity. Now I reach a point P, where point P lies in the electric field of this Q. So up to here, say, let us say electric field is existing. Now, as soon as it enters over here, which one Q, it experiences a repulsion. This is force, electric force of repulsion on small q by capital Q. Let us say the point P is located at a distance what? R. Now, if I want to move this in this direction through a very small distance dr, dr means infinitesimally small distance. Dr is infinitesimally small distance. Its magnitude is slightly greater than 0, but it cannot be 0. So, if I want to move this q towards capital Q through a small distance dr, then I should do work against electrostatic repulsion by capital Q on small q. So this work done will be stored in the form of potential energy of the system, and that potential energy difference between infinity and this point will create a new thing that is called what? Electric potential. Okay, so when you measure electric potential energy per unit charge, you will get automatically electric potential, right? So now this force which is acting on small q by capital Q does not keep constant. As one pushes small q towards this one, it comes closer and closer, and now it experiences more and more force, because force varies inversely with the square of the distance. As it approaches closer and closer, R value will be gradually decreasing, force value will be what? Increasing. So this is a variable force. We know how to calculate work done by a variable force. So W equals to integral F dot dr. From where to where you are moving? From infinity to a point P, which is located at distance what? R. From here to here the total distance is R. And you don't get any doubt that sir Q is moved from here to here. So don't we subtract dr from this? I told you dr is such infinitesimally small, its value will be approaching to 0 but not 0. So such a small value cannot alter this R from here to here. So therefore integration limits are taken from infinity to R. Now you can clearly see that F and dr are pointing in the opposite direction. Angle between them is what? 180. So this is integral F dr cos theta cos 180 degree from infinity to R. Cos 180 is what? Minus 1. So I will take minus out, minus integral F dr from infinity to R. Now what is F? F is force of capital Q on small q, and it is governed by Coulomb's law, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught capital Q into small q by R square. So this will be minus integral infinity to R 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into Q divided by distance between them is R square into dr. So whenever you do integration, the integral element should be of the same thing, right? Now these things are constant, you can take them out. Minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 capital Q into small q integral 1 by r square dr. Of course, limit is from infinity to r. Now if I carry this further, w equals to minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q into q into integral of 1 by r square dr. Okay, let me do this integration for you. This is r to the power of minus 2, okay, into dr from infinity to r, right? So this is minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q into q. Integration we will do. This is r to the power of minus 2 plus 1 by minus 2 plus 1 infinity to r. Minus 2 plus 1 is minus 1. This minus and minus will become what? Plus. So this 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0, it will become plus into q. This r to the power of minus 2 plus 1 again, r to the power of minus 1. I can take it to the denominator. So it will be 1 by r from infinity to r. So this w equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into q into 1 by r. Upper limit is r only, minus lower limit 1 by infinity. So 1 by infinity will be what? 0. So this only is left over. Now w equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 capital Q small q into 1 by r. Fine. Now this we have defined electric potential as work done per unit charge. This charge only we are moving, so that only will divide. So W by Q equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into what is left over here? Q by R. So Q by R. This particular thing is replaced with potential V equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q by R. This is the expression for electric potential due to a point charge. Just notice, we have considered a unit positive charge Q. We moved it from infinity to a point P, but the charge cannot be seen here in the final expression. That means the charge which you are moving near to the source charge is immaterial, but it is to be treated that it should be as small as possible. It cannot have any of its own electric field or electric potential. Such a small charge. Okay. But finally, what is there in the expression? Capital Q is there. What is capital Q? Source charge. So when you define electric potential, you define work done per unit charge. Surprisingly, you will see that when you define work done per unit charge, you are speaking about the charge that is being moved, and this is not directly involved with the charge that is creating the electric field. We have taken capital Q. Capital Q will not come here. So work done should be divided by the charge which is being moved. Work done should not be divided by the charge which is creating the potential. Work done should not be divided by a source charge. I repeat, work done should not be divided by a source charge in order to get potential. It should be divided by the charge that is being moved. Therefore, when you divide like this, finally you will see the expression is involved with what? Capital Q only. So it will be only source charge that is material. So the charge being moved is immaterial. Right? Okay. So another thing I want to bring to your notice that potential is a scalar quantity. Therefore, this is the final expression. In electric field calculation, whenever we make a calculation, for example, for electric field due to a point charge, E we have written 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into Q by R square we have written. In order to make it as a vector quantity, what we did here, this one, and here R cap we have drawn. There is no such provision for electric potential because potential is a scalar quantity. It is defined as work done per unit charge. Work divided by charge. Work is a scalar quantity. Charge is a scalar quantity. So scalar by scalar will remain as a scalar. Therefore, electric potential is a scalar quantity. So that is final expression. Another thing. If I have a negative source charge here. Then what will happen? As soon as Q comes over here to point P, it will not experience repulsion now. It experiences what? Attraction. It experiences attraction. So F and dr both will be pointing in the same direction. So this is now F. So when F and dr point, because F points towards minus Q because small q is attracted towards minus Q. That's why I have changed the direction. Then this angle will become 0 degree, cos 0 degree. Cos 0 is how much? Plus 1. So therefore, this minus will not be there, plus will be there. Here also plus will be there. Here also plus will be there. Right? Now, here also plus will be there. Here also plus will be there. Now this minus is multiplied, right? This minus 1 is multiplying with minus, therefore you got a plus now. Now when this is a plus, okay, this minus will appear here as minus. So this minus, this minus, this minus, and finally you have minus. So potential due to a positive charge is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q by R. Potential due to negative charge is minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q by R. Right? So even you can keep this negative charge over here, negative sign over here, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into minus Q by R. Okay? So in vectors, we don't write like this finally. What do we do? Radially inwards and radially outwards. The direction is covered, the sign is covered in the direction. So here the sign cannot be covered in the directions because potential does not have any direction. Clear? Right. So remember, potential due to a positive charge is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q by R. Potential due to a negative charge is minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q by R. Fine. So this is not a very big derivation, only 2 steps it involves. That W equals integral f dr. We have gone for integration because the force between capital Q and small q is not constant. It is a variable force. That is the reason why we have used the formula for work done by a variable force. Okay. Now you have more than one charge in a system that we have already discussed in first chapter, which is nothing but what? Electric dipole. So now we try to see potential due to a dipole. Potential due to a dipole. Fine. Now there are two cases. Case by case we will say. One is on the axial line, other is on the equatorial line. So let me first see the equatorial line. Along equatorial line, right. Now you have plus q, at some distance you have minus q. Now remember, whether it is plus q or small q, whether it is capital Q or small q, it makes no difference. Once you understand which is the source charge and which is the test charge, that is enough. You can have any type of convention. So sometimes I will be replacing capital Q with small q and small q with capital Q. But now the dipole is nothing but because of the source charge is plus q and minus q. Now this is the center of the dipole and this is now the equatorial line because it is a bisector. Fine. Now this distance will become A, this distance will become A. I will consider point P at a distance R. Now potential due to a point charge is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into Q by R. So to calculate potential at a given point, you should know the distance of that point from the source charge. So this is point and this is the source charge. The distance is how much? Root over R square plus A square. This is A, this is R and this is right angle. This will become hypotenuse. Here also the same thing. Root over R square plus A square. Now, plus Q will produce a potential at point P given by V due to plus Q equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q divided by root over R square plus A square. Shall we write anything about direction? Shall we draw any directions like this, radially outwards, radially inwards? No, we cannot draw because potential is a scalar quantity. Nothing you can draw. If you put arrows, then you are doing some mistake. You did not understand the concept of vector and scalar properly. Right. Now, minus q will produce potential at point P. V due to minus q equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into minus q divided by same distance root over r square plus a square. So net potential at point P equals to V due plus q plus V due to minus q. Why you are adding directly? Because potential is a scalar quantity, all scalars are directly additive. There is no need of any vector concept. Like 2 plus 3 is always 5. But 2 Newton plus 3 Newton is not always 5 Newton. It can be 5 Newton, it can be 1 Newton, it can be any value between 1 Newton and 5 Newton, depending on the angle between 3 Newton and 2 Newton. But here, potential being a scalar quantity, potential will be directly added. You see, are these equal in magnitude, both of them? And sign if you take here, what will happen? This will be minus potential and this will be plus potential. So this will be 0. Very interesting. At the same point, the electric field will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into P by R cube. I am speaking about electric field along the equatorial line of a dipole. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into P by R cube, where P was a dipole moment. But at the same point, electric potential is what? 0. So therefore, is it necessary that electric field should become 0 at a point where electric potential becomes 0? No need. No need. Potential may become 0. Potential may become 0 at a given point, but field still can exist. And vice versa is also true, that cases we are going to see. So not only at this point, 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 even at the center also, electric potential is 0. Here also this is 0. So all these points will correspond to 0 potential. Therefore, if you draw a surface, the surface will be called as equipotential surface. So the dipole equatorial axis corresponds to an equipotential surface, that we will see in the next class. So this is all for today, because the video is jumping to automatically new one after 33 minutes. That's why I am putting alarm at 29 seconds. So 4 more seconds I am pulling. So now I think it is now 33 minutes. So thank you.